Do you want to know why most of your content posts are failing to grab your audience's attention? Or have you ever worked really hard to try to post and then nothing, crickets? Don't worry, today I'm going to share my strategy with you on how to get people to stop scrolling and instead read your post, your email, your ad, whatever it is you're trying to get their attention for. I'm Heather, the copywriter, and I teach online experts how to connect with and persuade their audience using buyer psychology and copywriting techniques. Every single video, post, podcast, you name it, that I share, I'm going to give you something actionable that you can use right away. I love it. Love action. I love sharing things that you can go and implement. Okay, so I'm going to share my strategy with you guys today about how to get people to stop scrolling and actually read your post and then comment on it and like it and engage with it. So let's jump right in. So first off, and the one thing that I really want to start with and I really want to emphasize is that you should not ever be copying someone else. And I know that's common sense. I realize that this is okay, duh, I get that. But I think a lot of us, we get bored or we get stuck or we feel a little unsure sometimes. And so we go, stalk someone's website or we go stalk their social media and we say, oh, what are they posting? And then it's both exciting because they're wow, that's really great. I really love what they had to say. And a little discouraging because they're why isn't my content like that? Why don't I have people liking and commenting and sharing? And so it's just, one, it can get discouraging, but number two, their stories are not your stories. So your stories are powerful because you're the one who's been through them and you've learned how to take the stories and take the experiences and take the things that you've done and apply them to your business. You've learned along the way, and because of those lessons that you've learned, you're able to help your clients in a different way than someone else can. This is just, think of a health coach. Different people need different styles of health coaches. Some respond better to a gentler approach with a lot of encouragement. Some people do better with someone who's a little bit tougher, who does tough love. And different clients need different levels of engagement and support. And so your stories and your experiences will never be the same as someone else's. And that's a beautiful thing because you're going to be able to help clients that they can't, right? And vice versa, there's clients that you won't be able to help that they can. So I know it can be a little that copy worked so well, that post worked so well. Can I just copy it? No. First off, just ethically, they put the hard work in and they worked really hard on that post. Don't take their stuff. But second off, you have your own powerful story to tell. You don't need to take their stuff. Can you be inspired by it to write something similar? Sure, absolutely. I get inspired by ads all the time, by movies I watch, by other people's emails. I think, ooh, how can I do my version of this? How can I step and share my story in a similar format where I'm oh, I liked how they opened with this story, or I really loved that, email headline that someone used. Now, how can I make it my own? We can be inspired by others without having to copy what they wrote. So, point number one, don't copy someone else. You don't need to. You got your own powerful story to tell, to share. Number two is to know what your audience needs from you. This means you've got to know what they're thinking. You've got to know what's keeping them awake. You've got to know what questions they have. Because if you don't know this, you're always going to struggle to write and to speak to them. It's like someone asking you, say, you're not maybe you are a car mechanic. I'm not a car mechanic. That would be like someone coming up to me and saying, how does an engine work? I'd be like, I could tell you the basics, but I don't know in depth. You have to know what questions your audience has. You have to be able to respond to questions that they ask, right? If you don't know what your audience is thinking, you have a lot of work to do. Go back, figure out what they're thinking, figure out what they're struggling with, and begin speaking to that. Start sharing your experiences. Start talking to, what they're struggling with. For my clients, it's a lot of Why aren't people paying attention to my posts? How come I send emails and no one opens them? Why isn't my course selling? Things like that. So those are the questions that I'm going to answer. This is the type of content I'm going to create. I know what questions you have, and now I'm going to answer them. It's great. Win for you, win for me. Content for me, answers for you. It all works out beautifully. So if you're really struggling with what to write, go back to what do your clients need from you? What are they struggling with, and how can you help them? It becomes so much easier to write content when we go back to how can I help my people, right? All of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, well I can answer this or I can do this. It becomes less about like, I notice I struggle personally when I start to focus on me, right? When I'm like, oh, what do I share? It's like, no, what do my clients need from me? Then it becomes easy to write. So instead of focusing on yourself and what you need to write, focus on how can I help my clients today? It'll put you in the right frame of mind and help your content sound amazing. Okay, I'm like laughing at myself because I feel like it's an amazing weird. Be yourself, guys. It's the best person you can be. I say amazing weird sometimes. It happens. And then finally, actually, that kind of ties in really well to my last point, which is find your voice. One of the first activities I do when I take on a new client is I have them record a video for me. And what I do is I give them a series of questions. They're pretty broad, basic questions, but I give them a series of questions and have them answer them for me. And what I'm listening for when I hear their answers is their voice. Are they more playful? Do they have some really great stories? Do they tend to be really in-depth and deep? Are they a little bit more, like stern and like badass bitch, like gets shit done? Where is their, like, what's their energy level at? What is their voice? I'm constantly listening and say, okay, how can I recreate this voice of who they are? Because I feel like a lot of people going from speaking and talking to clients, all of a sudden they're writing down their words, they lose a lot of that personality because they're trying to be more professional, they're trying to sound right. Kind of the transition can be a little weird. So what I want you to do is really kind of listen to yourself. I know, listen to yourself. It's always a little awkward to hear yourself on camera. I get it. But listen to how you speak to clients. Are you more upbeat? Are you a little bit more chill and relaxed? Is your cadence a little bit slower? Write the same way that you talk to your clients. And that's your voice. So find out how it is you speak. Do you like to be really pushy? Great, be pushy. The right clients for you will be attracted to that. Do you like to be, like a lot of metaphors? Do you really like to, love and peace and joy and a little bit softer pace? Great, be that. Find your voice and start writing the same way you speak. If you struggle with this, I actually have a really great tip for you. So if you struggle with writing the same way you speak, go ahead and just cut out the middleman, your fingers, and get some sort of headset or voice recording service and start talking your posts out and record them, and it'll transcribe your text, like voice to text for you. And all of a sudden you'll figure out like, oh, I say this a lot, or oh, I tend to tell better stories when I'm talking. You'll start to really find your voice very quickly, and you'll sound more like yourself than you do sometimes when you're going ahead to type, because as we type, we tend to self-edit. So just cutting out that middleman and using a talk-to-text service of some sort will help you a lot, help you really find your voice and figure out how you speak to people. So if you need a couple of suggestions, let me know. I have a few for you that I can send your way, that you can use. Some for free, some are paid. You just let me know. So I hope this helped you today. I hope this helps get you thinking about how you can add more personality and how you can really pull your audience in. So that way, when they're scrolling, they say, oh, Heather posted, I'm going to stop and read it, except instead of Heather, put your name in. Imagine that's you. Get your audience really engaged and really excited to read your posts, your emails, whatever content you're putting out. Hope this helped. Look for more videos like this. I have tons like this of these fast copywriting tips, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.